Tolda. He ran in the 2nd Congressional District, but he's actually running in the 2nd Congressional still on the, which line is it now? The Constitution Party. Constitution Party.
That said, if we ever forget that we're one nation under God, we'll be one nation God under. We've gone from that to Barack Hussein Obama writing in his book that I guess if it came down to it, and there was a conflict and the winds changed, something along those lines, between the Christians and the Jews and the Muslims, I guess I'd have to stand with the Muslims. That's not something you guess, ladies and gentlemen. That's something you know. Barack Hussein Obama knows he stands with the Muslims. New York was attacked on 9/11. Our friends, our families, our loved ones, hurt, killed, died, still dying because they were told the air was safe to breathe by Christy Whitman, who, by the way, should be penniless and broke, and everything she's worth and everything the EPA's worth should be funding these 9/11 first responders. Now, I'm asking you to judge me, not based on my words, not based on my platform sheets, but based on my actions. When the Democrats wanted to bring the 9/11 trials to New York City, I went down there with a video camera and I represented the people, and I interviewed 7 different people, including a fireman and a veteran, and I said, if you have anything to say to Obama, to Eric Holder, you say it. And the video actually wound up on a support site for Obama, and it was a battle we won. We beat that, and the trials did not come to New York. Now in May, I went to a civilians pettit trial at Otler Church in Harlem that was put together in conjunction with the American Grand Jury Association. Obama, the CIA, and Columbia University were put on trial and found guilty on 17 different counts, including sedition, wire fraud, mail fraud, and obstruction of justice. We're having a meeting on Monday and Tuesday to discuss the findings of these trials being brought to Congress, the Senate, and the media. And theoretically, this trial is constitutionally legal and binding. We just need somebody with the courage to go to Washington and enforce it. And that's my first plan, to remove Barack Obama as soon as I'm sworn in. My second plan that's going to work in conjunction with that plan is to remove him via a process of annulment that's been used on senators before that were found ineligible to hold office for one reason or another. It reversed every vote that that senator had cast. So if the bill had passed by 1 vote, the bill became null and void. In the case of Barack Obama, every single action that this government took under his illegal leadership would become null and void. Not only can we take this country back, we could take it back now, and we could reverse everything that this socialist, even worse, this globalist that props up Islam while he destroys Christianity and Judaism has done. We could reverse it all. We just have to have the courage to do it. If that's what you want for this country, then I'm your man. And if you want to vote the party line, I'm not your guy, and we'll have to see how it turns out. I'd like to take Q&A if anybody has any questions. I'm up against Steve Israel, man.
Yes. What would you say to voters who are concerned that you might possibly split the vote and send the elections toward the Democrats?
I would say, do the research I've done, look at the statistics. Steve Israel has gotten literally double the votes of each of the 3 Republican candidates that have been put up against him. So I'd say, look at the statistics. We also have one of the highest volumes of independent voters in the entire country in the 2nd District of New York. And if you study what's going on in the rest of the free world, minor parties are rising up. A man named Nigel Farage won by 119 votes with a party called UKIP about 15 years ago in the UK. And now the people actually have a real choice in their elections. When their establishment Conservative Party lets them down, the people vote UKIP, and UKIP has quickly risen to be a major party there. And in the Netherlands, their country's been overrun by Islam because their Conservative Party, their establishment Conservative Party, failed their people, and now they're clinging for dear life to Geert Wilders and the Freedom Party over there. It was the only party that had the courage to stand up and take their country back from Islam. Though what I would say is don't wait until the U.S. loses more sovereignty like the UK did. Don't wait until the U.S. becomes Islamized the way the Netherlands did before you have the courage to support a candidate with a quote-unquote minor party. That's it for the questions. I'd just like to... Oh. Yeah.
Second Amendment says well-regulated militia is necessary for security for free states. Can you tell me what the security of a free state means to you?
The security of a free state means that every sovereign person in this United States deserves the right to defend themselves, period, end of story. Shall not be infringed does not mean, well, unless we feel like it should be infringed for A, B, C, or D. I'm not suggesting that convicted felons be given open carry or concealed carry permits, but there is no reason why every law-abiding American of reasonable age should not be allowed to bear arms publicly. Publicly, privately, open and concealed carry. I'm not looking to just defend our constitutional rights. I'm looking to take them back because we've lost a good deal of them.
With regard to that gentleman's question regarding the Second Amendment, there are emails floating around that allege that next year's tax forms, people who own pistols would have to record so on their return. One, I don't know if it's true, and if it is true, what would your thoughts be about not doing it?
Excellent question. We are sovereign Americans under the Constitution. When our out-of-control government makes a law that is not in line with our natural rights that are endowed by our Creator, specifically the Bill of Rights, you have not only the right to ignore that as an unconstitutional and illegal law. In my opinion, you have a duty to yourself and your fellow countrymen and women to not comply with that law. Well, I graduated Bethpage High School in 1999, and a former citizen statesman himself, Mr. Thomas J. Duffy, I guess sowed the seeds of liberty and freedom into me. He was a very staunch conservative, pro-life, as am I, pro-constitution, as am I. I'm also a financial consultant, which is basically, you have to hold a degree, you take a test that essentially translates to a degree in finance. And I understand how to fix the economy. That's what we need right now for the future of ourselves and our children and our children's children, and to retain sovereignty, to retain the Constitution in America. You have to fix the economy. And I have a detailed plan to do so, which includes a sound money option, a fair tax that would burden the people less while raising revenue so we can pay off interest on the debt and principal on the debt to restore faith in the dollar. I have a whole stack of press releases and platform sheets, and I'm willing to speak to anybody that would like to speak to me. Thank you.